Today, we're going to go on a journey, but not to some faraway place. No, this journey is to a place that's much closer and maybe a lot more challenging, the wilderness inside of you. We're going to talk about the season of Lent, but maybe not in the way you're used to. Let's see it not as a punishment, but as a kind of guided tour into our own hearts. To really get what this is all about, I want you to just try a little thought experiment with me, okay? Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning and everything you normally reach for, well, it just isn't there. You know that first thing you grab? Your phone? Poof, gone. That cup of coffee that you absolutely need to even function? Nope, not today. And that show you binge watch to kind of numb out the stress of the day? The screen's just blank. So what are you left with? It's just you. All that silence you usually fill up with podcasts or music. That little pang of hunger you'd normally erase without a second thought. It's just you. And that quiet, empty space. So here's the real question, isn't it? In that quiet, in all that discomfort, how long would it take before you actually started to listen? Not to all the noise out there, but to that voice inside. And that, right there, is the whole idea. See, Lent isn't meant to be a punishment. It's more like intentionally clearing out a very cluttered room. You're just moving the furniture, turning off the TV, so you can finally hear the whispers you've been drowning out for so long. So the spiritual tradition actually gives us a kind of map for this inner journey. It breaks it down into three main stages, or you could think of them as three inner wildernesses that we're invited to walk through. First up, we step into the wilderness of detachment. This is where we fast from things like food or social media. And here's the key, not because they're bad, but because they're good. They're lawful. We remove these perfectly fine things to see, wow, just how attached are we? How much do we rely on things that are, when it comes down to it, totally unnecessary? You know the feeling, your stomach growls, your thumb starts twitching, looking for that app to scroll, and right there in that little gap between the urge and you saying, not right now, that's where the magic happens. We come face to face with ourselves and all the little illusions we've been feeding to keep ourselves feeling comfortable and, well, distracted. And, you know, this feeling is nothing new. St. Augustine absolutely nailed it centuries ago. This process of detachment, it uncovers this fundamental restlessness in our hearts, right? This deep ache that no amount of Netflix or chocolate can ever really truly satisfy. It's a hunger for something else entirely. And all this restlessness naturally leads us into the second phase, the wilderness of temptation. Once we've cleared out some of that noise, we start to notice all the shortcuts our brain wants to take. This is where we have to confront our deep desire for the easy way out, for satisfaction without any of the struggle. I mean, this is an ancient story, but just look at how modern it feels. The temptation to turn stones into bread, that's the exact same voice in our head that says, go on, you deserve this right now, why wait? The desire for a dramatic angelic rescue, that's our internal programming screaming, avoid discomfort at all costs. And the offer of worldly power, well, that's just the classic, hey, look out for number one. These are the temptations we face every single day. And that's why the actual physical feeling of hunger is so powerful. Your body literally becomes a theological instrument. It's a tool. It teaches you in a way your brain alone can't quite grasp that you are not self-sufficient, that you need something. And recognizing that we have a need, that's the very beginning of real honest prayer. Okay, so this leads us to the final part of the landscape, and honestly, it's the most beautiful part, the wilderness of angels. Here's the great paradox of the whole journey. It's where our vulnerability, the very thing we spend our lives trying to avoid, becomes the very doorway for grace to walk in. The original story says that Jesus was out there with wild beasts, and that angels ministered to him. See, the wilderness is never actually empty. It's full of both danger and grace. The same desert that holds the predator, all our fears and our feelings, also holds the messenger. When we strip away all our defenses, yeah, we become vulnerable. But we also become available to a kind of help that's way beyond ourselves. So, after walking through these inner landscapes, the whole journey really boils down to a single, really powerful question. A question that starts to echo in that silence we've so carefully created. So, what is it? What's the pain, the fear, the truth that you are running from? You know, the one you keep your schedule jam-packed and your headphones on just to avoid feeling. This journey is designed to bring you right up to the edge of that question. and just let you look at it. And here is the most compassionate part of this whole thing. The goal isn't to solve it. You are not being asked to fix everything right this second. The invitation is so much simpler. It's just to sit with it, to stop running, and to just let it be, in the presence of someone who knows the wilderness better than anyone. Okay, so how do we start? How do we actually walk through this door? The early church called this season the door of return. It's just a gentle invitation to come back home, to yourself and to God. The way back, it isn't a ladder you have to climb by being a spiritual superstar. It's not about achieving some great new level of holiness. It's simply about paying attention. It's about shifting your focus from all the noise out there to the quiet that's in here. And you know what? It can start so simply. You don't have to blow up your whole life overnight. Just try this. Fast from one meal, just one. Or purposefully skip that mindless 20-minute scroll through your social media feed. And then in that little bit of time you've created, just enter the silence for 5 minutes. That's it. That's the first step on the path. And here is the final, hopeful promise I want to leave you with. You do not go into this wilderness by yourself. Someone is already there, waiting for you. And he's not there with the checklist of all your mistakes. He's preparing a table, a feast, right in the middle of all your fears, your anxieties, your enemies, just waiting to welcome you home. What do you think you might find if you decide to accept the invitation?